Hey, what's good guys? It's Afro Pierre from AFROCHIBI Champs, and today we're going to go into a deck profile. You ready? Let's go! Okay, so today we're going to focus on a very fun deck profile. This is a deck that I use. I gotta say, it's not easy. It's going to take a lot of thought, a lot of thinking ahead. But it's very effective and all about using, I'd say these are your main cards to implement this, mainly these three. I'll say leading with Odd Genius because it's all about using cards to kind of bring in as many cards to your hand as possible. So in general, you're kind of playing from your hand and not necessarily the battle that's going on currently in the match. So as you can see, Odd Genius has a symbol. Now this is a secret symbol, SB. So people that have already purchased the cards might have seen it, or if you've been following the game, you might have noticed. SB stands for something, and it stands for Super Brain. Usually I wouldn't reveal everything, like the secret symbols, but because of this deck, kind of doesn't demand it, but it's always good to have a look out for SB. Because they're the ones that will really help you use this deck and for future sets as well. So yeah, so Odd Genius can bring in an extra card for you. So can Dex. So per turn, basically, you can pick up 2 additional cards. So in total, you can have 3 per turn. So you always naturally pick up 1 card at the start of your match, but because of these 2, you can get another 2. Because your hand has a limit of 10, you have to be very considerate, and like I say, you have to play from your hand. So the other 2, we'll go to Dr. Blue Banner first. Very easy. If you're playing loads of cards, that means you're going to get through your deck. So if you want to kind of capitalize on the strong AFROCHIBIs like that guy or the bulk, Dr. Blue Banner is a no-brainer to have in your team, either as cavalry or as a land 4 AFROCHIBI. Obviously bringing in this guy, very strong, as you've definitely seen before. So yeah, nice and easy there. Always good to have as a kind of a threat. And then let's talk about the final one. So Heisenberg, I haven't really spoken about him too much. This card is quite cool. It's a good one because it's a game of chance, but at the same time, if you have kind of pre-planned and you've definitely kind of arranged your deck in a way of a percentage of tactic cards. For example, this one, if you draw a power card, so it gives you another card pickup, which means potentially it would be 4 cards that you could pick up in a go. But the only problem with this one is if it's not a power card that you pick up while using this ability, then basically you have to destroy that card. And yeah, so if you pick up a great equip card or an AFROCHIBI like that guy or the bulk, you have to discard them straight away and they go into the grave zone, which isn't that good. But again, if your percentage is high and you use him nice and early, then you might have a high chance of getting a power card if you have loads of power cards in your deck. So with that in mind, certain power cards really work well with this, because if you manage to draw a power card, then basically you get to keep it in your power base and no one can destroy it in any way until you've used it completely. So for example, if you used, let's say, you used Heisenberg's ability, you have drawn 1 card because of it, and it ends up being this card. And I've said before, it's probably one of the best, easily top 3 of your best cards because of what it can do. It again gives you free energy, so you get 2 energy per turn usually, but having that extra energy can really benefit you and give you a huge advantage in the game. It's always tough going up against someone with Energizer Rabbit. So if Heisenberg does that, it means Energizer Rabbit is not going to be threatened in any way, because usually your opponent would want to destroy Energizer Rabbit by getting AFROCHIBIs over to your power base entrance and attacking the entrance to destroy power cards like these. So that wouldn't even happen because it's protected because of Heisenberg's ability. And because it's a long-lasting one, it means you don't discard it after use. As long as Heisenberg doesn't get defeated by your opponent, it would be kept for the remainder of the entire game. Okay, so some more power cards that I think would be good for this deck profile would be the following. Plan B. There you go. Fresh start. Hopefully you're having a little read, but basically they're the cards that if your hand's getting a bit too full and you're not really happy with the hand itself, you can't really use those cards, that's probably going to be your weakness to this deck. So if you have these two cards that give you the opportunity to reshuffle your hand into your deck and then draw the top 5 cards, then yeah, it's all good. So it'll probably get you out of a pickle anyway. Then you have a card like this. Now, there's a reason for this as well. Our genius is your king, and his ability, I'll just give you a moment to read it, because he has 2 abilities, unlike some or most AFROCHIBIs. And his second ability, basically, if you guess a card correct from your opponent's hand, then basically you are able to kind of pick up a power card of your choice from your deck and then shuffle the deck after use. And if you use this combination, so you can't hide, it means you can reveal any card from your opponent. So you could reveal potentially some cards in the hand as well, which means it's a guaranteed guess. Because you can, as long as your opponent doesn't use the cards that's been revealed straight away, which is hard to do anyway. So it'll definitely happen, guaranteed. Just because revealing, let's say 5 cards from your opponent's hand, it's going to be quite impossible or quite hard to, you know, unless they want to discard their good cards and stuff like that. It's going to be tricky to just kind of use all 5, especially because it costs energies to use certain cards. So having this combination in your deck is super. All right, so just the last few cards I want to show you. One being the final power card I'm going to show you. Perfect for this deck, just because, again, you're trying to get loads of good cards into the game, and especially if you have someone like this who can protect power cards. So the more power cards you have, the better, and this is one of the best in the game as well. And again, it works perfectly for high-powered AFROCHIBIs. Well, sadly, not like the Bulk, who's a power 6. He can't be brought into the game through this, just because it kind of states it in the rules. So some cards can't, so be mindful, check the rules on the actual card if they have any. The strongest AFROCHIBI that you can get through this power card is, obviously it's named after him, it's his plan, Strategy Master, and he is the final SB. So there are 5 super brains in set 1. So obviously using this kind of combination really coincides with the actual deck profile itself. You get to bring him in, you also get to release another power card. It could be You Can't Hide to then link to this ability. So there's a lot of chain combos that you can really do and capitalize by using abilities, because abilities do not cost an energy. So doing this is going to work in your favor, and it's a very formidable deck to go up against. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe so you can continue to see some content like this. And yeah, and it obviously supports the page and everything else. I have been AfroPierre, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Peace!